Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see about Sindhaveli, Dravidam and Tamil. Sindhaveli is Indus Valley and Dravidam is Dravidian land and Tamil is the language. Now we will have to see what is the connection between Indus Valley civilization and Dravidans and Tamil. And for this, the excavation which took place in Indus Valley civilization, that is in Sindhaveli, helps a lot. And the reason for doing the excavation in Indus Valley is because of the Chinese Buddhist monk Yuan Swang. He came to India and he stayed in a place which is near Kanchipuram and studied Buddhism for 2 years. And he has written many documents, and based on that documents only, they started the excavation in Indus Valley, and that is how we came to know about the great civilization that is the Indus Valley civilization. And the question is to know about ancient Tamil. That is the reason why they did this excavation. And we found out that Aryans had come into India from the north and from northwest, and that is how they entered India. And then afterwards they would have spread into different places. And before the Aryans could come itself, we had the Dravidian, that is the Dravida people in India. This is what Professor Barrow has said. And he has also done research on the Aryan language, and he has said that in Irukku Vedam, 20% of the words are from Dravidian language. And already before the Aryans could come itself, Sindh and Gangai, these places were filled with Dravidians, and only later on these Aryans came there. And after coming here, they had taken many Dravidian words mixed in their language. And so Aryan language has lot of Dravidian words in it. This is what Barrow says. And see, Lemuria was a big continent, and in South India and Africa, in all these places, and even from Mediterranean countries, they had lived for a few years, and then only the Aryans came to North India, and later on they could have come to South India. This is what people believe. And because of all these reasons only, Hiras Padriyar, he says that through the excavation we have found out many things. And we have come to know that in Indus Valley civilization, a great civilization was there in those days, but due to certain reasons which is not known, it somehow this Indus Valley civilization disappeared. And if we see in Sindhu, that is in Indus Valley, we find two places, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. They are two big cities which were found in the excavation. Now these places are in Pakistan, and in India we have Sanitara, Kotiji, Lothal and Kalibangan, and this also came out only through excavation. We have found that they were very civilized in those days, and there is a lot of similarity between Mohenjo-daro and Harappa and also these four places, and that is a result which was said to the world by Sir John Marshall. And we have found that in Indus Valley, the buildings all and even the urban city was developed. The infrastructure was so very great. And Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, they have similar development and infrastructure, and all these happened in those days itself. So we come to know that in those days, ancient days itself, they should have been a great civilization here, but maybe because of floods, these Mohenjo-daro, Harappa would have gone drowned into would be submerged down, and on top of it later on another city would have developed, and that also would have been drowned or submerged. Like this, seven cities were built one on top of another, and each had either been submerged in the sand or maybe the enemies have destroyed them. But somehow they were destroyed, but definitely 7 times cities were constructed in that place. And outside Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, outside the city we find big forts and battlefields, that Kottalangal, where the military battalions all will get their training is there. And inside the fort we find the king's palace, and there are big ponds which were used for taking bath, and all the roads are designed in straight manner. They were all built in a beautiful way with big houses and granaries. Nirkalanchiyangal means granaries, and even the temple priests were given separate houses. And in Mohenjo-daro, domestic and foreign trade had taken place, and whatever was imported like grains and metals and precious stones, all these were kept safe in the on the safer places. And it is also said that Mohenjo-daro was fully built with bricks, so they knew about architecture also a lot, and the streets were planned beautifully, and it is in the urban planning, and it is in the diameter of 3.4 kilometers. And seeing all this, we cannot say that Aryans who come from very small places and who have only village background, we cannot compare their civilization with the Indus Valley civilization, which was far more better life, and it was you can compare it only with greater civilization, and definitely not with Aryan civilization, which comes from very backward areas. And in Sindhu Valley we find a lot of lingams, that is Shiva's we worship that lingam, and from this we find that they were worshipping Shiva, and they did this worship through lingams, whereas in ancient days Aryans did not do linga worship. And another thing is Aryans, the way they worshipped and what Indus Valley people worshipped is entirely different. And in Mohenjo-daro also we find lot of clay signs, symbols with Pasupati, that Shiva form, and Amman form is there. Whereas Aryans did not accept Pasupati, that is a linga form. They worshipped Lord Shiva in the Rutra form, that is Urutran, where it is a ferocious way. And in Sindhavadi people also, they religion followed the planets and the satellites, and there was a connection between their way of religion and the planets. And from Sindhavali, maybe a few people came to Gangai, and then afterwards they would have come southwards towards Takkanam and to Tamil Nadu. There are a lot of cases, because in all these places we find so many similar things based on the excavation we have done, particularly the black and red color pots which were found in Keeradi was also found in Sindhu Valley. They are similar. And in Indus Valley, the excavation shows that Dravida people also lived there, and this Dravida language had spread even to Balochistan, and Dravidam was something which was prevalent in those areas. There are a lot of evidence for that, and even the culture which was followed by the Dravidian people is also found in Indus Valley. And it is said that before 1200 BC, Aryans couldn't have come to India. Aryans should have come only after BC, that is 1100 BC or 1000 BC, because we find that Atharvana Vedam, based on that language, we can find out that they had come after a long time. And that long time is after Sindhu Valley civilization had actually disappeared. Only these Aryans should have come. That also after many hundred years, because there is so much of difference between Indus Valley civilization and the Aryan civilization. And these Aryans are all very backward, based on the village life. Whereas Sindhu Valley people, they lived a township life. Their life was so very advanced. And when we do research in the language also, we have got a lot of clay muttiregal, that is signs, and cheppedikal means copper plates. And when we see these copper plates, we find that one line is going from left to right, and the very next line is coming from right to left. And this is said to be in picture. Chittaramure means pictorial method, and Olimura is phonetic method, the way you sound, the sound language and picture language. So both mixed together only the language was there in Indus Valley. And these in Sindhu language alone, we have totally 300 language symbols in that. In that, 250 symbols are the basic symbols, while the remaining are all supporting symbols. And in Sindhu Valley language, we find a lot of Tamil words also there. This is what Heras Padariyar says, and this is revealed only after scientifically doing research on all this. And even many scientists from Russia and Finland, they have come and done research, and they said that the language in Mohenjo-daro has a lot of Dravidian languages in that, and maybe Dravidian language Tamil also was had its beginning there. And Airavata Mahadevan, a person who does research in Sindhu Valley letters, has said that now he is able to understand the meaning of the Sindhu Valley letters. But since those letters are based on picture and sound, that is Chitramum Oli Kuripum, he says it is very difficult to translate them in Tamil and say, because that is based only on what they see. It's like a picture, and based on the sounds how they produce to express their feeling. So it is not easy to translate that in Tamil. So we find that Sindhu Valley, that is Indus Valley civilization, and Dravidians and Tamil, they are lot connected with each other, and maybe they all lived in all these places, and that is why all these similarities are there. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. And while subscribing, don't forget to press the notification bell. Only then you will get intimation about all the videos which I post immediately. Thank you.